Hey, Candid Land. Good Sunday afternoon to everyone that's joining me here on Candid Conversations with Miss Krystal, where we're transforming it through transparency. Hey, hope you had a wonderful Sunday. And I know many of you had a good old Sunday dinner, and now would be about the time that you're waking up from that Sunday nap. So, again, I want to thank everyone that took the time this afternoon to check me out. I want to thank all the community for your support. I tell you. And if you've got a story idea, you can always send me an email to heymisskrystal@gmail.com. Hey, before we get started, I would be remiss if I did not mention the unfortunate, untimely passing of a Louisville legend. And I'm talking all about Ulysses Jr. Bridgman. He passed away following a emergency situation while he was actually at an event, and he passed away following that medical emergency, and the community was just in shock. And we are definitely at a loss for words. But the life, the legacy of Junior Bridgman has many people saying, what are you doing with your life? Be so great that whatever it is you do on your time here on earth, it will still last and linger long after you are gone. He's done some incredible things, and his name, his life, his legacy will continue to live on. And so keeping the Bridgman family lifted up in prayer during this difficult time. All right, let's go ahead and do what we came to do. Today's subject is a father's fight, and we're talking about the viral custody battle with Mr. Kevin Cardwell Jr. And I know a lot of you were shocked by the video that we saw posted to social media. So let's go ahead and check out this video.
She get full custody. She get full custody.
I had to end it right there. That's really hard for me to watch. I know it's hard for a lot of you out there to watch as well. And so without further ado, bringing to the stage this week's Candid Conversations with Miss Krystal guest is Mr. Kevin Cardwell Jr. Hey, Kevin.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm sure that's hard for you to relive, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, first, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me today. And I know this is a deeply personal and emotional journey for you. But before we dive in, how are you doing? How are you feeling today?
I'm making it since the day, just losing sleep, just thinking about my boys. I haven't talked to them. I get them next weekend, so I'm anxious to talk to them and check on them and make sure they're okay.
Wow. And I know myself, like many others, we first caught wind of that video that you chose to post to, I'm gonna go ahead and say Louisville Hood News. And I'm, scrolling, and then I see this video already. At that point, it had gotten 30,000 views. And I believe the next day it was almost to 100,000 views. But take us back to that moment. What led up to that moment, and what are we witnessing? What are we seeing there?
So what you were seeing there was, my son had got a phone call to my mother to go pick him up. Anytime something goes wrong, my mother's always been my biggest support system to go over there and help be there for my boys. So when she went over there to get them that day, she was actually assaulted, and she had just had eye surgery, and she's older, and it just went through me that day. So I told her to just keep my boys. So when I got them, I pretty much went to the police station and just told them, like, hey, I got my boys, and then we're going to go to CPS and we're going to do whatever we got to do to keep them safe. I've made multiple calls to CPS. CPS will not do anything. They tell me my boys are too young. They tell me I'm coaching them. I can't win a custody battle. It's been a long time coming, and it's just frustrating to keep losing in the court system where you love your kids and things are going on. Your kids are telling you that they're hurting and you just can't do anything to help them. And it's just feel helpless.
Kevin, so was this in Louisville where this video was shot? Where was this shot?
This video was actually taken right after court.
Mhm.
So the video was taken right after court. I had sit in the courtroom all day long. I had emergency custody of my boys. I was supposed to pick them up at around 2:20 that day.
Mhm.
The only other person that I had, because I had just got emergency custody of them, the only other person that could have picked my boys up was my mother. Right when my case was called, I got called into the courtroom, and the lady that was there, my lawyer, told me I didn't need any witnesses. It was just a hearing, and then it was going to go up to the next level, and then that's when I would need all my witnesses. Come to find out, I did need witnesses to testify to everything that was being said and seen. So on that day when the babysitter assaulted my mom and she went to jail, my mom was not there to testify to any of it. So they asked me, and I had to tell the truth. Did you see the assault on your mother? I had to say no. Did you see your son get pushed down the steps? I had to say no. Right when they went to call my mother in to testify, she was already gone to get my boys. So the video that everybody's seeing is a phone call that I made to my mother when she was coming back with my boys from school, and I didn't know that she had that she had me on speaker, and they just heard everything and they just broke down, and just couldn't help from break down with them.
Wow, and we could definitely see you breaking down there in the video. Why did you decide to share that video? Why did you decide to share that deeply personal moment? And it's truly gone viral, this video.
At the time that was going on, I was in the moment. I didn't even know that my fiance was actually recording it. And she's also been my biggest support system. Her and her family, my mother, my aunt that's a preacher. I've got another aunt that runs a daycare. My grandmother. I've got a lot of people that's been in my corner that's helping me fight for my boys. So it's kind of just keeping me going. So after the fact that she showed me that she recorded that video, what everybody didn't see in that video was after she got my boys into the car and they was just kicking the windows like they did not want to go. And at just that point, I just like something's got to be done. Like I can't keep going through this. So I decided to post it so everybody can hear out of my kids' mouth. Look, they're not being coached. The courtroom's telling me they're being coached. They're not being coached. They're too young. Their voices are too young. And I'm a helpless father. It's like, I just need help. I'm tired of seeing my kids hurt and pain.
Right. Um, and I think this video struck a chord for a lot of men. A lot of men, and I was really surprised how many have reached out to me saying that they related to you a lot on this level as to where they feel as if they really don't have a voice in this situation. And at the end of the day, you're a father fighting for your sons. What has this battle been like? And how long have you been in the fight in this situation?
It's just been going on for probably 2 to 3 years. Guys are coming in and out of my ex's life that's wanting to say, hey, I'm their dad, and they're going to call you Casey. I'm like, look, I've always been my kid's dad. I'm always going to be their dad no matter what. I don't mind co-parenting, but I'm their dad. I'm trying to do everything by the book. I'm trying to bring my kids up right. Um, so at the end of the day, it's just like, I want my kids to be raised right. I don't want them to be scared of the police. But when they got home that day from the courthouse, the police was called. And that was the second video that y'all seen from the Ring doorbell cam. And it's just ongoing. There's multiple videos from that Ring doorbell cam that I've gotten because that's my best friend's house. And that's my kid's safe place where they run to get a hold of me because they know he's going to call me and I'll come and pick them up.
Well, we live in the day and age of technology, and a lot of times having video can make or break a situation. And there is a snippet in the video that I just shown where the son is making a claim saying that she hits us. Have you been able to address this concern with the authorities? And especially after they were taken away, did you have an opportunity at all to speak with them about that, or have you brought that up before?
No, in that moment, they actually told me to leave, that I was in the wrong, that I was causing the problem. They wanted to escort me off the premises because my voice was crying. And I'm like, how am I the issue? I just was just hugging my kids.
Hmm.
Like, they're hurting. I want to comfort my kids. And y'all were telling me that y'all were ready to escort me off the property because y'all just gave custody to this woman that does not care for my, I won't say that she doesn't care for my kids, but I will say, like, I understand that it is hard for a single mother. And that's why I've always been there to try to help and be there for my kids, but she's not allowing me to help. She's trying to cut me out of the picture, and I'm going to be in the picture regardless. I'm going to fight for my kids.
And let me just say this, I'm giving you a platform and a space to speak your piece. Again, an alarming video that definitely captured the hearts and the attentions of thousands. And there are two sides to every story, and she isn't here
Yes,
to
ma'am.
defend herself. And so let's just focus on you and your next steps. There's been a huge response online. And I know when I spoke with you the other day, you said you hadn't slept in several days since posting that video. Some people are supporting you. Some are questioning whether or not social media was the right space to bring this personal situation to. What kind of response have you been getting from people about this video?
I've been getting positive, nothing but positive things. A lot of people, I've seen the negative comments. It's like, put your kids on there. Why put your kids through this? It's like my kids are going through this regardless. I'm going through this every day. I don't want to go through this. I didn't want to share that. I didn't want my kids to be in that vulnerable spot. I don't want to be. I just want to bring attention to the situation that there are good dads out there that are fighting for their kids, and it is hard for us to get our kids in situations like this in the courtroom.
Kevin, let me ask you this. Do you feel the legal system is fair when it comes to fathers that are fighting for custody?
I don't think it's fair at all. And I did have an outburst in court, and that was my first outburst that I've ever had. And it was just, and I apologize for that outburst, but I'm hurting father. That's, I kind of told the courtroom, like, you're kind of making it plain that money is more important than the safety of my kids, and that's why the reason why I shared the video, because they're telling me money is more important than your kids. My son's already been hit by a car. Um, and so it's like he's not being supervised. He doesn't have the proper supervision. And let me help have the proper supervision for my son, because if he was safe, then I wouldn't be doing any of this.
There's a common belief that the courts automatically favor the mother, and you're saying that in your instance, you feel that to be true. Have you been able to get an attorney to help you with the situation?
The attorney that the court appointed me that day came and talked to me, and she didn't even have 5 minutes to even listen to my story or to defend me. What she told me was, I have other clients. So she didn't care to defend me or my kids. So that was another reason where I had to speak my mind in court, because it's like my kids are hurting. I know they don't care nothing about my kids, because at the end of the day, they're going home to their families. But then I'm still stuck with those memories in my mind of my kids and the decision that they've made upon me for not giving me a proper defense.
How old are your boys, Kevin?
My oldest is 10, and the one on the door cam is my 7-year-old son, is my middle boy. And then I have my youngest son, which is a 4-year-old,
Right.
which is not with that mother.
What do you like most about being a father? I know when we spoke earlier, you just I could hear the smile in your voice when you speak about your children. What do your boys mean to you?
Keep me busy. They just pass the time by when they're here. We're always doing something. We're playing football. We're going to theme parks. We're playing video games. They make me feel young. I get out and try to get on the hoverboards with them. I got out of the military. I played semi-pro football. I'm almost 40 years old, playing semi-pro football. So I tell them, like, y'all can do anything you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if you could change one thing about how the system handles cases just like yours, what would it be? And what are you hoping the outcome will be of coming forward and making your story public?
Just kind of equal opportunity between the fathers and the mothers is all I'm hoping. Like equal opportunity. There's some good mothers, there's some good fathers, there's some bad fathers, and there's some good fathers. So like just equal opportunity across the board in the courtroom, whether money is a factor or not.
Right. And what would you say to fathers? I see some of the comments in the chat. And if we could please be respectful, and I'm proud of you guys, I ain't going too crazy in here, but if we could please be respectful, but someone's offering you prayers up for you in your situation, what message would you have for other fathers that may be dealing with the same issue?
Just hang in there and just fight, because if more fathers come forward, then I think we can change the narrative that there are a lot of good fathers out there.
Almost 100,000 views on your video after posting it just for a couple of days. You said that people have reached out. Has any attorneys or anyone come forward with any information that you feel will be able to help you?
There's been attorneys that I've talked to. This kind of gave me just little advice on what I should do, but then it's like, hey, my retainer is starting out $3,000. So if you don't got $3,000, then we can't talk.
Right. And so do you have support from any other, like any advocacy groups or anybody else? Have they reached out to try to assist you in any way? And is this situation a financial one? Is this the reason why you feel as if you're in this situation because you can't afford an attorney at this time?
Yeah, it's a real big financial problem for me right now. When I had got my boys, every morning I was losing hours of work driving my son, because I'm in Louisville. I was losing hours to drive my son to school when I had emergency custody of them. So I was getting up extra early. I had to get them up extra early. And then I had to let my boss know, it's like, hey, bringing my kids to school. So I'm clocking in extra late. Then I'm getting off early because I have to be back in Shelby County to pick them up as a car rider, because their house of residence is Shelby County.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Kevin, in this fight? Where do things stand now legally?
Legally, I got another court date, April the 23rd, where I can bring witnesses. I know I can bring witnesses, but it's still that I don't have an attorney factor. So if I don't have the money by April 23rd, it's just, I feel like I'm just going to go and tell the judge, like, I don't want that same person represent me. But I have to put it off. And then my boys are just going to have to remain there unless something else happens to where it brings us to court. Like in that instance, it was the assault that took us to court. And it's like, I don't want anybody to get hurt before having to go to court again. I want something done now.
How are your boys now, though? I mean, and I think the thing that hurts the most, and I know a lot of people, is that you've got two innocent children in the midst of this situation. And as I always say, kids don't ask to be here, and they sure don't ask to be placed in the middle of this type of drama, because it really is playing out as a drama. How are you talking them through? How are you protecting them? How are you, keeping them safe through this? And that's why I did decide to blur their faces out, because, we're in the day and age of social media. People can, will be able to, some of their classmates might be able to go online and see that video. How are you protecting your sons?
Right now, that was the last time I talked to my boys, was that video. I'm not able to communicate with my boys. Can't talk to them on a daily basis. I don't see them. I can't talk to them. They're told not to talk to me. Their phones are taken. I can't talk to them.
Hmm. And let me go ahead and share this information. I know that you had set up a GoFundMe. You guys can go and copy and paste this link if you if it's on your heart to support Kevin, what kind of appeal would you have for the community to help assist you during this difficult time?
Say again, I'm sorry.
I said, what kind of, make your appeal to the community to help you? You set up the GoFundMe, you
Uh,
need assistance. So what do you want to say to those out there?
Anything helps. I know that I don't have a lot, so anything helps. If you feel it's in your heart to give, anything helps. No donation is too small. Just trying to be there and support my family any way I can.
So you said you haven't had an opportunity. When are you going to get a chance to see the boys again?
Um, Fridays when I get my boys, and then I'll have them through the weekend. It's kind of our 50-50 deal. I get my boys every other weekend.
Hmm. What would you say to your sons right now? I know, and I know that every time you watch that video, every time you hear them cry, because it makes me cry when I hear them. What do you want to say to them, to your son?
Just hang in there and stay strong. I'm fighting for y'all like y'all fighting for me.
Right. Well, Kevin, I see a little bit of comments here in our comment section, and we are live. If you're just now joining us, thank you so much for joining me here on Candid Conversations with Miss Krystal podcast. And I am here with Mr. Kevin, and we're talking about that viral moment that he posted showing his children during a custody situation. And so I've got the GoFundMe link there up there right now. Kevin, is there anything else you'd like to share during this time? Anything else you'd want the people to know about you and your sons and just your battle?
Just feel like I'm a Navy veteran. I went and fought for my country. And here in the court, I can't stand up and fight and defend my own kids. So I'm trying to do whatever I can to protect my kids.
All right. And let's see, don't say just love them. Right. Right. I'm just going through reading some of the comments here. And again, we thank everybody for supporting. And I think a lot has to be said because so many times, especially Black fathers, Black fathers have this bad stigma of not being involved. And here you have someone that wants to be involved and you feel as if you're not getting that opportunity. But I tell you what, Kevin, I truly hope that a peaceful resolution can happen for both you, the mother of your children, and I hope that you guys can come to a peaceful resolution. Do you feel as if that's possible?
I wish and I'd hope that there would be a peaceful resolution. I know as far as on my end, but it's like the more I try to do for my kids, the more I try to be there for my kids, the harder it is to be there for my kids. Like it's just something, always the next step or something that tarnishing my name or something like that I had to go through to be in my kids' life. I've never badmouthed their mother to my kids. I'll always try to be their supporting father, and I'm just trying to be there and show them the right way and stay by the book that it's going to work out eventually.
Right. Got a lot of people in the chat saying that they are praying for you, praying for your kids, praying for the situation. Someone said, talk to the children. And I'm sorry if I asked you that already, but do your kids kind of understand what's going on and how do you talk to them about what's happening? That's a good question.
Uh, because of their age, I don't talk to them about what's going on. I just let them know when I see them that I love them. And my 7-year-old, he tells me he loves me the most when he's here. He's not exaggerating. He'll tell me he loves me 100 times a day. My older son, he's kind of more laid back. He's quiet. He's shy. I like his daddy. I'm shy. I'm only on here because I'm doing this for my kids. I'm a shy person, so and he's real laid back.
Right. Let me go ahead and put that information up again if you're interested in donating to Kevin. And again, this will go to tell them what the donations will go towards.
The donations would go towards me getting a lawyer that's going to fight for me, like I'm willing to fight for my boys. So I want somebody that's going to be there, it's going to listen to me, and it's going to do what it takes to bring my boys home to me.
All right. Question for those that are, first off, thank you so much for being here, all the viewers that are here. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the legal system is fair to fathers? Answer that question in the chat there below, and we'll read your responses. Do you feel as if the legal system is fair to fathers? Why and why not? And again, I told you I was just definitely surprised by the overwhelming volume of men reaching out saying that they know what that feels like. And definitely they felt as if someone needs to stand up for fathers. Do you feel one of the things you told me, you said you're very shy and you're quiet, but it seems as if you're garnering some strength from somewhere. Are you trying to become a poster child for fathers' rights? What do you, I mean, do you see yourself, getting into activism to help other fathers that are like yourself?
Uh, I don't see myself in that role. I guess when you love your kids, they make you do something you don't want to do, something you have to do for them. So I know me being shy, the social media thing is like a big fear for me, but standing up and doing it for my kids.
Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and share this. Someone posted this. She says, no, CPS is a joke. My husband deals with the same issue. And then also we have got Miss Alexis Stone. Hey, Alexis. She says that I've seen it too many times. The legal system is not fair to fathers. Also want to show this though, and I've heard this quite a bit, this comment from Miss Casita. Hold on, there we go. Not at all. My husband didn't get custody of his son until he was removed from my mom's house due to neglect. What do you think can happen though? I definitely people like you standing up and sharing your story, perhaps. I mean, you're definitely shining a light on this story. What do you think needs to happen?
I'm hoping the system changes to just equal the system out. Fathers and mothers don't look at it one-sided. I get it that the mothers carry the baby for 9 months, so they have more rights, but there are loving fathers out there too. Give them a chance.
All right. Well, we have come to the end of our time. Kevin, is there anything else to say before we get out of here? And again, we want to thank everybody for joining us. Anything else to say?
Going to continue to try to do what I can for my boys and any other fathers out there in the same situation as me. Keep the hope alive.
Right. Kevin, are you going to continue posting to social media, though, more videos like this?
I'm hoping I don't have to, and just hoping that this one time changed something. There was a light somewhere, and changes are going to come from here on.
Right. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today and share the story. You put it out there. I, like so many others, wanted to know, your side of the story of what was taking place in that video. And you've highlighted something that seemed to have struck a chord with a lot of people, which is the lack of rights for fathers. And so I think I speak for a lot of people when we say that we hope that you and the family can come to a peaceful resolution and that those boys can get the life they deserve and they don't have to have too many more situations like that. That is my heart's desire and absolutely the reason for giving you this platform. And to the other person involved, I believe I see a lot of activity there in the chat. This platform is open to anyone that wants to speak their piece. You can email me at heymisskrystal@gmail.com. heymisskrystal@gmail.com. And this story highlights that, like I said, these children do not ask to be brought here. But one thing we can do as adults is just to make sure that they have the life they deserve, right? A life without pain, a life without tears, and a life without hurt, and a life with both parents, though, with both parents, coming together peacefully. So, Kevin, thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of Kandid Konversations. Hey, if you're watching me on YouTube, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, like this video. And if you're on Facebook, thank you so much for checking me out. Share this broadcast if it touched your heart. And if you have been compelled by what Kevin has said, you can go ahead and support him and his journey for an attorney. That rhymes, journey for an attorney. And as always, check me out again next Sunday right here, same time, same place, 6 o'clock. And until then, keep it candid. Bye.
I'm reaching for and finding my way through. Oh.